Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Memorial Day. Please, whatever you do today, take time, be safe, but also take a moment and remember why we're celebrating Memorial Day. All right? And those who have given their lives for us to be able to do this. So remember remember them and then celebrate their life and the freedom that they've given us. All right? Anyway, so how are we doing today? Um, what are you drinking? I'm drinking my spring tea. It's Jasmine Silvertip. So come to find out, it's a green tea, but they only harvest the leaves in May, and it's like a China Fiji Providence. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the one word. It looks like Fuji a little bit or Fiji, and it's not. But yes, so that's why it's only in spring, but it's really, really good. It has the jasmine smell. So sometimes I love just sitting, just smelling the tea as it steeps and gets a little cooler so I can drink it. And we have Bentley's tea here today. Well, not he's not drinking tea, he's drinking water. So he loves to drink water out of a cup. He That's his favorite thing, fresh iced water out of a cup. So he drinks out of my Steamboat Willie mug that I had gotten years ago. It has this little top on it that's like mouse ears, and I had gotten it because I'm a Disney person. So yes, I used to work for the mouse. So yes, he gets to drink out of that cup. Anyway, he's not spoiled whatsoever. But yes. So, anyways, today we are going to talk about forest bathing. Um, as we go through more episodes, you'll start seeing that a lot of these things they kind of intertwine with each other, and a lot of them you may already be doing and don't even realize you're doing. So yes, so for forest bathing is one of the biggest precursors to mental health issues is known to be stress. In fact, the WHO, World Health Organization, predicts that stress will be the biggest contributor to disease by 2030. The evidence showed a clear link between being in nature and experiencing superior health and well-being. Benefits have included improved immunity, better sleep, reduced levels of stress, depression, and anxiety, and increased feelings of happiness. Forest bathing has been shown to increase the activity of human natural killer, NK cells, or known as NK cells, and other anti-cancer proteins in the body. Chronic inflammation can encourage tumor growth. So forest bathing have been shown time and time again to have anti-inflammatory effects, which works on that chronic inflammation, which decreases and discourages tumor growth. All right. So yes, but what is forest bathing? It's no, you don't have to go running through the woods naked with a towel. I mean, if you want to, that's no judgment here. That's on you. But and be careful if you do that. But I will say, hey, some places, some trails, some forests, you can actually go hiking and go to hot springs. So which is kind of nice. Natural hot springs, those still do exist, yes. But forest bathing, what is forest bathing? It is a traditional Japanese practice that's simply the practice of spending time in a forest, immersing ourselves in natural world and using all of our senses to connect with nature. So, what if you don't have a forest? It's a place you're able to enjoy nature. You can have growing plants at home and improve well-being. And yes, it can. So, what would we do if you don't have a forest to go to? I know some cities you can go to a park. some people, I know a friend of mine, she has a gorgeous backyard, gardening and everything. Like you can just go sit in the yard and just enjoy it. There's not too many cars that go up and down, so you don't get that city noise, but it's absolutely gorgeous. She has a fire pit, everything. Really enjoy loving sitting in her backyard. So you have that. You can go hiking on a trail if you feel up to it. I know the city, actually, interesting enough, I will say the city of Portland, Oregon, actually have forests like in the middle of the city, and some of them have like these little small forests, so you can walk around. It's like about a mile or a little over a mile, and as you're walking in it, like it literally feels like you're in a forest and you forget you're in the middle of a city. It's really interesting and amazing how they have that. They have this huge park that's like about as big as Central Park in New York City, if not a little bit bigger. And like when you're walking through it, like sometimes you feel like you're walking through a rainforest. It's very interesting considering you're in the middle of a city and not going to a park or a oh goodness, my mind just went blank. Going to like a natural federal park. So yes. Anyways, and there's places in other cities they can go hiking and stuff. But whenever if you live in a place like New York City that you literally cannot go out, like you literally have to travel out of the city or somewhere to be able to enjoy nature. Okay, outside of Central Park. Sorry, I forgot about Central Park in New York City, but whatever you live. So you can always bring it to yourself. You can bring it home, or even if you don't feel like it, you can have it with you every day. So I recommend the book Plant Therapy by Dr. Katie Cooper. She is a psychologist, plant enthusiast, and a business owner. She has a plant subscription service and online shop, Bloombots Club. No, this isn't a commercial. I seriously recommend this book. My husband and I were visiting his mom in Madison, Wisconsin, and I came across this book in a plant shop and thought it was really interesting. And so reading it was very interesting, very informative, because yes, it does talk about forest bathing in there and the information that they have gathered doing studies on forest bathing and the benefits of it. It's really, really interesting. And then it talks about plants. So she's split in the well-being of plants. So if you can't go out first, you can bring it to yourself. So the well-being of plants she splits it into 4 distinct categories: environmental, psychological, cognitive, and affective. And she takes each category one at a time, explaining its meaning and the research behind it. And then she gives you examples of plants that you can get for these meanings, or for what you're getting it for. So I mean, there's like plants for purifying air, there's plants to reduce stress, there's plants that brings you happiness, like all these plants that have been studied to be able to do these things. She talks about some in there. And also too, what's really great is if you don't have a green thumb, my mom didn't have a green thumb, she killed my bamboo plant. Like, how do you kill a bamboo plant, right? All you do is add water, give it a little bit of sunlight, and that's it. But so if you don't have much of a green thumb, it tells you the level of care that is needed for the plants. So you can kind of debate on what plants to get. You can also do a deeper dive into like if these plants aren't within your region, of what plants are really good. Go to a plant shop. A lot of people who work at plant shops are also plant enthusiasts that know a lot about the plants. I would also kind of be careful with, the names of the plants. Sean and I went to a plant shop one time that we were looking for a mosquito plant. Well, that was the only way we knew the name of it, because that was how I had bought it years ago, called a mosquito plant. And is actually a citronella plant. Wasn't even thinking, and I'm sitting there, and the girl's like, "Oh, I've never heard of mosquito plant," and we're sitting there, and so like I'm sitting there trying to Google it to find out what type of plant the mosquito plant is, and I was like, "Oh, it's a citronella plant." Not even thinking, like, and she was like, "Oh, duh, I should have thought of that." And so she's like, "That makes sense." So yeah, so make sure you kind of know different names for different types of plants that you want if you're going to a plant shop. No, I don't mean that on her. It's just, sometimes when you're in a specific profession, you learn the technical names or the real names of certain things. So when someone comes up and uses jargon that you're not used to using for those things, then sometimes it's challenging to be able to figure out specifically what they're talking about. And that pretty much goes for every profession. So yes. But so yes. And when I say that, I also said you may already be doing forest bathing and not realizing it. If you go spend time out in nature, like my dad used to go hunting and fishing, and it wasn't necessarily, he didn't necessarily go hunting to kill a deer. Like he went deer hunting. He just liked to go hunting to do just to sit in the woods and just enjoy sitting in the woods with nature. With him, if he killed a deer, that was bonus. So for all of you deer loving people out there, it's okay. He always did what's best for the deer. None of them suffered. He didn't kill any more than he needed to. And the deer meat was always used. If they didn't, whatever they didn't take home on the hunting club, members of the hunting club, whatever they didn't take home, they actually gave the meat to a family in need in that area. So nothing went wasted. And if there was like I say younger kids, but like your younger teenagers, older, up in teen years, younger 20s, starting to hunt, he'd make sure if they did not treat the animals with respect, he made sure he taught them to treat them with respect. And so my uncle does the same thing when he deer hunts. But also too, my dad also loved to go fishing. He would go fishing all night. Obviously, this was years ago when I guess it was safer to do that. Then you start hearing these things about, serial killers and everything back then that it's you always wondered, was it really that safe in, the 80s, 60s, 70s. But anyways, he would go sit just on the lake all night, and if he caught a fish, great. And most of the time, he threw the fish back. And it was just being in nature, and for him, it was like relaxation and debriefing, and working through whatever was going on and everything. So if you go sit in a park, or just if you go out and sunbathe, like you're just soaking in nature and taking in nature. And so that's why I was like, you may already be doing it and not realizing it. Now there are some places that do kind of like retreats, forest bathing. I call them forest bathing retreats, where even if it's just like a day hike up the mountain, or somewhere that they'll go by a creek or go somewhere they can sit and meditate out in nature and just enjoy nature. But make sure when you do that, like, go off the grid. Like, make sure your phone's turned off. Make sure you're not being distracted by any electronics or anything like that, and just take it in. My favorite thing to do is I love waterfalls. So if we can go, like, if there's a hike and there's a waterfall, I want to go to the waterfall. We love waterfalls, just sitting there, just listening to the water just fall down. I guess some would say that's because I'm a July baby and I'm actually a Cancer, which is crab, and Cancer falls under the water sign. So people would say that's more my rejuvenation is water, and why I would love that. And I really enjoyed working on the cruise ship. When I was on the cruise ship, just sitting outside and just listening to the waves just beat up against the side of the boat or the ship. So, anyways, I can ramble on and on, but yeah, leave in the comments things that you do or ideas for getting out in nature and taking it in and just letting nature heal you. Um, both mentally, it is also not only is it Brain Cancer Awareness Month, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this all kind of goes hand in hand with each other. So yes, leave in the comments what you do. Enjoy the rest of your tea, and thank you guys for watching. I do greatly appreciate the support. I hope it does help. I hope you do learn something, and don't hesitate to share this with someone who you think may help. And until then, take care. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day, and I will see you next week under the willow tree.